Hello everyone! Welcome to Psychology Masters. Today we'll discuss telltale signs that you're experiencing burnout, and not just laziness. A term often misused and thrown around by a lot of people, burnout is defined as a negative state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive stress and an inability to cope with it. And as of 2010, a survey reported that approximately 75% of adults in the United States alone have experienced symptoms of burnout, with over 40% of cases being more severe. It can be challenging to differentiate between laziness and burnout, as there is a lot of overlap between them. In this video, we'll discuss telltale signs that you're experiencing burnout and not just laziness. Sign number 1. You feel disconnected from everything. Do you feel as though you're living your daily life in autopilot? Do you feel cut off from the world around you and yourself? If so, you might be exhibiting depersonalization, which is a typical sign of burnout. Depersonalization leaves a person feeling empty and emotionally numb, as though they are witnessing their life from a distance. They struggle with an overwhelming sense of helplessness and the inability to regain control over their lives, and they don't feel engaged by anything. Sign number 2. You are no longer motivated. Although being lazy is a personal attribute, burnout can make even highly driven and accomplished people feel worn out, disinterested, and uninspired. Let's say that you were once highly driven and accomplished, but that you have only recently developed a lack of interest and motivation. In that instance, burnout is more likely the problem for you than laziness. Sign number 3. You're procrastinating more than usual. Procrastination can often be misunderstood as laziness, but when you're dealing with burnout, it takes on a different meaning. It can be difficult to begin or finish even the most basic tasks when mental and emotional paralysis is brought on by the increasing stress and tiredness. You may resort to avoidance behaviors when faced with the daunting task of tackling your ever-expanding to-do list. Your stress levels may increase as a result of guilt and frustration that come with procrastinating. But it's crucial to understand that your procrastination habit is not a reflection of your moral fiber or work ethic. It's an indication that you are in a depleted state due to the drain that burnout has placed on your mental and emotional resources. Sign number 4. You are no longer passionate. The simple distinction between someone who is lazy and someone who is burned out is that the latter no longer finds it easy to enjoy their hobbies and passions. It can be difficult to participate in activities that were once enjoyable or fulfilling when one is burnt out. Because you are overworking yourself and pushing yourself to the verge of burnout, you might even start to hate or resent these activities. Sign number 5. You've become moody and irritable. If you find yourself becoming irritable and snappy all of a sudden, it could be a sign of burnout. Typical but frequently disregarded symptoms of burnout include moodiness and irritability. This could be the cause of your inability to control your emotions, especially if it wasn't an issue before. Conversely, lazy people are frequently incredibly calm, easygoing, peaceful, and unaffected by anything. Sign number 6. You're experiencing physical symptoms. Not only can burnout impact your mental state, but it can also cause physical symptoms. Although physical signs of burnout can differ from person to person, common symptoms include headaches, tense muscles, stomach problems, changes in appetite, and irregular sleep patterns. You might discover that you're more tired than usual, that you get sick more frequently, or that your body is hurting more than usual. It's important not to ignore these physical cues and acknowledge that burnout may be at play. Sign number 7. You've neglected your self-care. Self-care neglect and social distancing are two of the most alarming indicators that an individual is going through emotional and physical burnout. Your eating and sleeping habits may alter, and you may cease making an effort to look well. It's also possible that you become exhausted by even small tasks, which makes you want to spend most of your time alone. The key distinction between laziness and burnout is that the former is a state that results from prolonged exposure to high levels of stress and an absence of coping strategies, while the latter is an inherited trait. Sign number 8. You're feeling disillusioned and cynical. Have you observed a rising sense of cynicism and disillusionment with your job or life in general? It's not that you've suddenly turned gloomy. Rather, it's a typical symptom of burnout, which can make everything seem uninteresting, unfulfilling, or even useless. Burnout has the power to undermine your sense of purpose and make you doubt the worth of your work. It can be challenging to find fulfillment or joy in your work when faced with constant stress and excessive demands. Cynicism might begin to cloud your perspective, and you might feel cut off from your relationships or job. Sign number 9. These changes happened gradually. You ought to be aware that burnout happens in phases. When there is moderate stress, many people start to exhibit symptoms as early as the second phase. Optimism, enthusiasm, drive, and output could nevertheless begin to wane. By the time you get to the fifth and final stage, burnout has taken hold on you so much that it is harder to treat the chronic physical and mental exhaustion, which increases your risk of developing anxiety and depression. Burnout is not laziness, and it's essential to recognize the signs and seek help if you're experiencing it. By prioritizing self-care and managing stress, you can prevent burnout and maintain good mental and physical health. It will be easier for you to get support and recover from burnout if you recognize its symptoms early. Because of this, it's critical to spread knowledge about burnout rather than just writing it off as laziness, as the majority of people do. Therefore, please don't hesitate to get in touch with a mental health professional right now and have a conversation with them about mental or emotional burnout if you or anyone you know may be experiencing it. The first step in addressing burnout is to recognize it and give it compassionate care. Giving ourselves permission to put our own health and well-being first is necessary, even in a society where pushing oneself to the limit is frequently encouraged. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Subscribe and comment below. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Thank you for watching.